All right, we've got some folks jumping in with us. Very exciting. I will get us started so that we have enough time to get through all of the awesome institutions we have set up today. So welcome to the Association of Independent Maryland and DC Schools College Fair. We're so excited to have you participating in this event. We have some fantastic schools here with us today. I'm so excited. Each will have 6 minutes to share more about their institution, but we'll be around for the entire session if you have any questions. My name is Chelsea and I will be your facilitator. Before we get started, a few housekeeping items. Your camera and microphone are off, so the panelists cannot see or hear you, but you can use that Q&A button on your screen to type questions to them at any time. This is one of many sessions happening, so be sure to check out the schedule on the website. And if there are any that you haven't seen or you want to watch again, they are all recorded and available at strivescan.com/AIMS. All right, and now I'm going to turn it over to the University of Tennessee to kick us off.
Okay, good evening, everybody. Let me do that real quick. There you go. Come on. There you go. My name is Jeff Smith. I represent the University of Tennessee. I am a regional counselor. I recruit for Tennessee in Maryland, Delaware, and Washington, D.C. So welcome everybody to that and give you a little bit of news about the University of Tennessee. We are in Knoxville, Tennessee. As you can see there, the Tennessee River is on the right-hand side. In the back, you see the Smoky Mountains. What we say is that the Tennessee River is our front yard and the Great Smoky Mountains in the back is our backyard. In the town of Knoxville, Knoxville is about 200,000 residents that live there. In the city itself, the metropolitan area, close to 500,000. We are a college town. Not just because of football that you see there, but the opportunities and the connections between the city of Knoxville, Knox County, and the University of Tennessee. Quick highlights there. Knoxville is home to the Women's Basketball Hall of Fame, talking about the Women's Final Four that's going to be happening this weekend. We are one of the only places where you can sailgate as opposed to tailgate. And we definitely take advantage of the Tennessee River there. And so we'll have our flotilla for games out there. Have about students going over to about 50 different countries for study abroad, those aspects. We are a top producer of Fulbright scholars. And then our mascot, as you see there, is a blue tick coonhound named Smokey. Quick facts and figures here. Have over 25,000 undergraduate students, so we are a large school. But we're small in the sense that we have a 17-to-1 student to faculty ratio. We have a lot of kids, we have a lot of faculty, obviously, and making those connections is going to be something that students can do. A lot of students say, I don't want to go to a big school, it's going to be too big. You're going to have those opportunities to really get small and get connected with your advisor, faculty members, what have you, as far as that goes. Over 360 majors, so pretty much A to Z, whatever you want to be. We're going to have something for you in that particular area. Students can double major and minor. Students have also created their own major as well too. And then quick numbers there as far as financial aid. So close to 90% of our students receive some sort of financial aid. And about 85% of our students are either within their job that they study for within 6 months out of graduation or going on to a graduate program. The University of Tennessee is broken up into 9 different colleges: Herbert College of Agriculture, College of Architecture and Design, College of Arts and Science, and the College of Arts and Science is our largest major. Most of our largest college, most of our majors are going to be in the College of Arts and Science, the Haslam College of Business, College of Communication and Information, College of Education, Health and Human Sciences, Tickle College of Engineering, College of Nursing, and then also the College of Social Work that you had there. So 9 different undergraduate colleges. We also have a law school. We also have a veterinary school as well on campus. So again, if you're thinking about those areas, you can do your undergraduate and graduate program all in Knoxville. I'll talk a little bit quickly about the Academic Common Market. It's a program that a number of southern states are kind of banded together for. So again, those of you from the Maryland area, those of you from DC, from Delaware, maybe even a couple that may be from Virginia, there are opportunities to go to the University of Tennessee and study and pay Tennessee tuition. And the difference between in-state and out-of-state, you're looking at about $18,000. That's a nice big chunk of change as far as that goes. Information there on the bottom, more specific, www.sreb.org. And that's the Southern Regional Educational Board, which houses the academic common market. So information there and some of the more popular majors: nuclear engineering, business analytics, therapeutic recreation, that you see right there. Go over quick deadlines, and again, focusing more so on the junior class. In August of this upcoming year, obviously, that's when the application will open. We are a Common App school, so we have the Common App as well as our own online application. There's no difference either way. We'll take either one as far as that goes. October 1st, getting into your senior year, obviously when the FAFSA opens. February 1st, the priority deadline to turn that information in. Admissions deadlines, November 1st, you see their early action. So we have early action, and then regular decision, you see theirs December 15th. And then May 1st, you'll see that the confirmation date as far as turning in your deposit, as far as that goes. What we do a holistic approach as far as looking at students. So it's not just, okay, what's your GPA and what's your SAT score? Speaking of scores, we're going to be test optional for the junior class now. So becoming a senior next year, we will be test optional. We've been test optionals the third year now for that. If there are any sophomores or freshmen, right now, test optional for you is going to be a TBD, so to be determined as far as that goes. But definitely for the junior class that's here now, that I'm speaking to, definitely have that opportunity to do test optional if you want. Submit your scores, don't submit your scores. But again, that holistic approach that we're going to be looking at, want students to challenge themselves. Again, taking the top classes, and again, what you're going to be getting into. And again, opportunities in the school, opportunities outside the school just as well too. Come visit us quickly, visit.utk.edu. We're going to come on campus, get a tour, find out what we're all about. And then just in closing, again, myself, I represent students in Delaware, Maryland, and Washington, D.C. Amanda there will work with students from Virginia and West Virginia high schools. Again, Jeff Smith from the University of Tennessee.
Thanks so much. Alrighty, next up we have the University of Vermont.
Thanks so much, Chelsea and Jeffrey. Happy to have you all here. It's an exciting time. Happy to be presenting with a bunch of really, really cool schools. Yeah, so you know the drill. I've only got 6 minutes, so I'll hop right into it. My name is Brendan Riley, and I represent the University of Vermont. And I'm going to share my screen right here real quick. So, University of Vermont. I think the most important thing to take away, we are the flagship state school of the state of Vermont, but a little different than a lot of the other schools you might look at that are state schools, mainly in the size. If you know anything about Vermont, Vermont's a small place. Similarly, we're a smaller state school, so only about 10,000 students. It's a cool kind of middle ground where if you're looking for kind of some of those resources, opportunities, choices of a larger school, but you're not looking to sacrifice too much of that small, tight-knit community feel that you might feel more on a liberal arts campus. Students who are looking for that middle ground tend to thrive at UVM. Another really cool and unique thing about us is the fact that we have almost 3/4 of our students coming from out of state. Simple explanation, again, not that many Vermonters. So this brings us kind of cool sense of ownership to campus. Definitely feels like a destination, not just a default for Vermont students. And then to talk about the vibe on campus a little bit, I think the best way to describe it is calling it an academic ecosystem. What does that mean? Lots of factors going into what makes that UVM experience. So not only in the classroom where you're, of course, getting to engage with your professors and peers, that learning goes well beyond it, whether it's down on the lake or in the mountains. It's fun presenting right after Jeffrey because similarly, we've got water in the front yard with Lake Champlain right in town, and then Green Mountains in our backyard. Research stations at both. The town of Burlington is our hometown. A lot of cool kind of service learning opportunities, ways to get involved in that community. But not just learning, recreationally, hanging out on the beaches with your friends, hiking, skiing, enjoying the music and food scenes that we've got in Burlington, all very much part of that UVM experience. All of it comes together on our campus, really creates this neat environment where you get to really enjoy it all. And to talk a little bit more about that educational piece, I mentioned that learning doesn't stop in the classroom, it goes well beyond. We are big on experiential, hands-on learning, whether that's studying abroad, doing undergrad research. I mentioned service learning in town, internships. All of these are great ways to really add to that classroom knowledge and apply it elsewhere and outside that classroom. Of course, there's always like those classic internships like Ben and Jerry's from Vermont. So that one makes a lot of sense. Get to bring home ice cream if you got that one, but really a lot of really cool opportunities there. So we want that learning to go beyond the classroom walls. In terms of the community, one really neat thing is that we have on our campus learning communities. This is the residential situation. Everybody living on campus is a part of one of these learning communities. They're themed, so it could be sustainability, outdoors, arts and creativity, leadership and entrepreneurship, social change, all these sorts of themes where you're living with students who share a common interest. Kind of a good way to just create some common ground with the people you're living with that's separate from your academic side. So these students are just from all the other majors. Really cool way to just get involved in campus from day one. Then also for our community, these kind of 6 values you see here: respect, integrity, innovation, openness, justice, responsibility. This is our common ground. This 6th set of values, 6 of them that we sign pledges to. Every student who comes to campus right when they arrive, they sign a pledge to them and they really stand by them. Another thing I'm really proud about this campus, we are, really big on just like supporting the identity of every student we've got here. We are big in terms of diversity, equity, and inclusion. Some really cool things on campus are our identity centers. So you can see those here: the Mosaic Center for Students of Color, Prism Center for the LGBTQIA+ community for students, community members, the Interfaith Center, the Women and Gender Equity Center. Not just cool places to get involved with, but they also do some really cool campus events. So they really bring a lot of life to our campus. And then in terms of other things we really get excited about, we are a D1 school, so that's a lot of fun. Not football, but Vermont, of course, hockey is big. Basketball is also big. Also just club involvement on the smaller scale. We've got over 200 of them. So everything from beekeeping society to chess club to starting your own club. Very easy to do. All you need is 10 students and a faculty to advise that. In terms of the town, I mentioned Burlington being a really great hometown. Really wonderful spot for, like I mentioned, the music, the food, the beaches, really easily accessible as well. Just walking around or biking, very, very easy to get down into town from campus. The heart of town, Church Street, which is a pedestrian only kind of walkway, only about a 10-minute walk from campus. So really, really easy to get into all of that. I think the coolest part about our campus though is how nicely situated in nature it is. So of course, like Champlain, the Green Mountains right next to us, all very, very easy to take advantage of and really get into nature as a student here. And in terms of the admissions profile, so if you're looking to apply, a lot of numbers that I can throw at you, but I'll kind of just hit the big important things. We do have early action, early decision, Common App, school, or coalition app, either is fine. And again, also we are very holistic in our review process. So not just looking at that transcript, you're more than just your grades, we are looking for fit. So what are you involved in outside the classroom? How are you involved in your community, at your high school, maybe in your home? All of these things play significant roles. In terms of scholarship, because that's a big piece of it, especially if you're an out-of-state student, the initial price will be higher, but about 89% of our students do end up getting some sort of scholarship or financial aid, and you don't have to worry about any sort of separate application or essay for those. You're automatically considered. But I will just finish on something that I really think is my favorite part about this place is the community. So the students here are really just authentic, outgoing, nice people, very active and engaged. And for me, that's kind of what made me fall in love with this place, is that community. And yeah, I really hope you come and visit our campus. We will welcome you to here with open arms. Hope you get a chance to not just check out our campus, but our town and the community that we've got going on. So thank you, everybody, and enjoy this whole process you get ahead of you.
Awesome. Thank you so much. All right, next up we have the University of Maryland.
Thank you, Chelsea. Hi, guys. I hope you guys are all having a great evening so far. I first want to thank all of you for joining tonight. I know 8 p.m. on a school night between sports and clubs is probably not the best time to have a panel like this, but so I really want to commend you guys for joining the session this evening. My name is Nick Orban. I'm from the admission office at the University of Maryland. And part of my job, part of my role is working in the admission process, serving on the admission committee and working specifically with students who attend the Baltimore area independent schools. So I have students who attend private schools in Baltimore City, Baltimore County, and Howard County. If you live in other parts of the state, I'm happy to connect you with somebody else in our office who is going to be your point of contact. I've got as we talked about, 6 minutes to kind of talk about the University of Maryland. I know many of you being from private and independent schools in Baltimore area, excuse me, in Maryland and in DC are probably very familiar with the university, but you want to make sure we're all on the same page as you kind of go through your next few months as you navigate the different colleges that you're interested in and hopefully start working on your application to the University of Maryland. So just a quick sort of summary of Maryland by the numbers. We're a top 20 public research university rated by US News and World Report. That's sort of our foundation as an institution. We were founded in 1856 as the Maryland Agricultural College, which was a school designed to research farming and agricultural practices. It also carried with it a mission to help serve citizens from the state of Maryland. And while our academic offerings have shifted dramatically, and we now offer more than 100 different undergraduate programs in 12 schools and colleges, which we'll talk about in just a second, our mission still sort of remains to serve Maryland residents and be here for Maryland residents. And so as a result, our university is typically about 75% Maryland residents and then 25% non-resident and international. A couple of other things I like to highlight here in terms of numbers and rankings, I think that are important here. We really value our diversity as a university, and we look at diversity in a whole host of different ways. But I think a couple of pieces that I really like pointing out, nearly 44% of our students identify as a student of color, and we have students from more than 120 different countries around the world. So you really get this really unique melting pot of people and places where people are from, academic interests. And so I think it makes for this really unique campus community where everybody's really, really engaged. About 30,000 total undergraduate students. Our average class size is about 36 students, and our student to faculty ratio is about 17 faculty members to, 17 students to 1 faculty member. So you're still going to get those smaller classes within the larger university. We really like to think that we give you sort of some of those benefits of, or that feel of being in a smaller school and having those smaller classes, all the while getting all the benefits of a big, large state flagship institution. The other one that I like to highlight before I move on is that we're highlighted annually as a top campus for LGBTQ students, rated by Campus Pride magazine. Recently, we were rated #1 in the country. And that, to me, I think, again, just speaks to sort of the community that we have as an institution, welcoming of all students, and sort of talks about the resources that students have all across campus. As I mentioned a few minutes ago, we have 12 different schools and colleges on our campus, and they house our 100+ different majors. This is just sort of more as an organizational structure and is not so much sort of when you're applying to the university, you're not applying to one of these colleges or schools. All applications go through the admission office and go through the same admission process. But it just kind of gives you an idea of the diversity and the range of academic programs that we offer within UMD. We also like to highlight the special experiences that we offer to students. So students, we, of course, are interested in your development academically, and we want you to be a successful academic student. But we also, at the same time, recognize the very corny line that students' best learning sometimes takes place outside of the classroom. And so we encourage students to get outside of the classroom and participate in things like academic research and working with faculty members on campus to fulfill that research mission that we have as a university. Or maybe you want that more professional experience. You want to take advantage of an internship and take advantage of our location, being so close to DC, Baltimore, and Annapolis, all super close by and really attainable options for your internship possibilities. And maybe you want to go abroad, and maybe you haven't been able to go abroad in the last 2 years and you've got an itch to scratch. Well, we send students to all 6 inhabited continents around the globe. We have a number of programs that we run within the University of Maryland. We have access to a number of other programs run by other universities here in the US and around the world. So we can send you nearly anywhere across the globe where you may be interested in studying. We find so many students who come into the university with really great community service records and wanting to continue that community service record as an undergraduate student. So you have different service learning options and ways to contribute that community service to your undergraduate experience. And finally, living and learning programs could be its own presentation. At least 70% of our incoming freshmen are invited to a living and learning program. These are programs designed to give you smaller communities within the larger university and really make that university, again, feel a little bit smaller. I want to shift a little bit, talk about just sort of our application and admission process. I want to sort of echo or copy what Mr. Smith said from the University of Tennessee. We practice what's called a holistic admission review, which largely means that when we're reading an application, we're looking at all of the different things that make up who you are as an individual. And at the same time, no one factor is going to be rated or ranked in any particular way. We're looking to see what strengths you bring to the table, what makes you that individual person, and helps us learn a little bit more about you and your application. Lastly, I want to talk about our application deadlines. Despite the fact that I have 2 application deadlines listed here, students, we primarily focus on the early action application deadline. You're automatically considered for merit scholarships, special programs like our Honors College, and you're given the best consideration for admission to the university when you apply to Maryland by November 1st. And we take a large majority of our freshman class from that early action application deadline. So very strongly encourages you're considering Maryland, apply to Maryland by that November 1st application deadline. And with that, I'll hand it back over to Chelsea and welcome our next panelists.
Thanks so much. Okay, next up we have the Ohio State University.
Hi, folks. Thanks, Chelsea, and thanks, Nick. It's good to be in good company with another Big Ten institution. So students, not that the other schools that you're about to hear from aren't great options, but we always like to keep good company within the Big Ten. My name is Mark Cortez, and I serve as the Director of Outreach and Recruitment and Undergraduate Admissions. I also happen to be working with our students from the Delaware, Maryland, and Virginia area. So I'm excited to be here with you tonight and to share a little bit about the Ohio State University with you. So Ohio State is one of the largest comprehensive campuses in the United States. Comprehensive campus means that all of our programming is housed on one campus. So everything from our College of Agriculture to our biology program, our College of Engineering, our College of Business, and then programs like our College of Medicine and College of Law. All of those programs are housed on one centralized location in the heart of downtown Columbus. What's nice about having a university with all of those services in one centralized location is that students, you have access to all of those programs and all of those elements as a student at the university. You'll be joining a large community of Buckeyes. We are home to just over 68,000 students. About 57,000 of those students are undergraduates at Ohio State. We're proud to host 200 undergraduate majors across 15 colleges, 500 specializations, and those 200 majors and 500 in specializations allow us to offer 12,000 courses to our students every year. So students, not every one of you is going to be coming in taking the same math class, the same science class, or even the same history class. We'll give you a lot of opportunities to tailor your educational experience, and that's a direct result of having so many students on our campus, but offering so many academic programs on our campus. Now, you may be wondering, how do we manage our classroom size with hosting so many students on our campus? And the answer is, because all of those students are not taking the same type of class, you have a really unique opportunity inside of our classroom with a 19-to-1 student to faculty ratio. And in your first year, 80% of your classes will be in a classroom with fewer than 50 students. After that, you'll be in a classroom much smaller based off of your area of specialty. I want to highlight a couple of unique programs at Ohio State. The first one is our first year experience program. All of our incoming students are matched with a peer leader as a part of our orientation program. Those peer leaders will stay with you students for your entire first year. So they are really employed through the orientation and first year experience office to help ensure you have a great transition in your first year at the Ohio State University. We're intentional about that programming. So if you have questions about how to access resources like tutoring services, or even what the best pizza place is going to be in Columbus for you to explore over the weekend, these peer leaders are there to help guide you through that exploration. In your second year, we take that same model a step further, but instead of partnering you with a peer, we partner you with a faculty member. That faculty partnership happens in our second year transformational experience program. And like many of the other institutions you've heard this evening, we offer experiential learning that's hands-on learning. Not only do we offer that and tell you that it's important, we also back that up through the STEP experience by offering our students a $2,000 stipend so that you can put that cost towards offsetting the expenses that may come with an internship that's not located in Columbus, Ohio, or to offset the housing costs that you may incur if you are studying abroad. So our students use this $2,000 stipend for those experiential learning components and working with a faculty member to determine how might I use this $2,000 that Ohio State is gifting me as a result of participating in this program. We have a great program called the Moral Scholarship Program, which is a diversity and social justice-based scholarship program. So if you are a student who's committed and living diverse and social justice in your communities, in your school, in your larger community, that's definitely a program we want to highlight for you. I also want to highlight a note about our honors program, which is that the honors program is just that. It's not a specific college. So our honors curriculum and our honors faculty members are embedded in all of the 15 undergraduate colleges at the university. A little bit about Columbus, Ohio. We are the state capital. 109 languages spoken in Columbus, Ohio. We're the 14th largest city in the United States, falling just behind the city of Chicago. We are a top 10 city for pride, and we are ranked the #1 city for startups. So a lot of great opportunity, especially for those with the entrepreneurial spirit or interest, a lot of great opportunity for you to find a home right here in Columbus, Ohio. A little bit about the Ohio State application. November 1st is a common date for our early action decisions. We are a member of the common application only. You'll note that test scores are optional for the 2023 cycle, and letters of recommendation are also optional. You'll see that our final application deadline of February 1st is also an important deadline for financial aid. One of the financial aid programs that students are eligible for is our merit-based scholarship program. We have a program called the National Buckeye, which is a scholarship just for non-resident students to be awarded. These are competitive and not guaranteed, but if you are awarded one of these scholarships as an out-of-state student, the value is $13,500 per academic year. You are eligible to renew that for a total of 8 semesters or 4 academic years at our university. Another option that we provide to our students to help finance your education is a program called the Alumni Scholarship Program. The Alumni Scholarship Program works with scholarship and alumni clubs specifically based out of your area. There is a strong alumni presence in the Maryland, Virginia, DC metro. We definitely encourage all of our students to consider this scholarship program as well. And then finally, we also encourage you to continue exploring the Ohio State University. We are offering both virtual programs and we have limited space and on-campus programs right now, but you'll see all of those websites there. This is a great slide to take a screen capture of or to take a quick picture of so that you know where to go after today. Thanks so much for your time this evening. It was great to speak with you. Feel free to throw your questions into the Q&A or into the chat for us so we can help engage with you. We'll see you all soon. Take care.
Awesome. Thank you so much. West Virginia University is next.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. And I just will share my screen. Let's see. Okay, here we go. So you should be able to see my screen right now. If you can't, please let me know in the Q&A or the chat. But I am going to get started. So my name is Jackie Gress, and I am a director in the Office of Admissions at West Virginia University. One of the things that I'm actually going to do tonight is share a video with you. It is a short clip. It does showcase our campus, our research, our community, and I think it does a really good job. It is an oldie but goodie with showcasing everything there, a lot there about what there is to know for WVU. So I'll get started here.
This is West Virginia University, home of Mountaineers. We're talking like real Mountaineers, none of that fake stuff. West Virginia Mountaineers. Of champions, pioneers, record breakers, scholars. And this is our jam. We're home to the largest crime scene training complex in the country, the first institute in the world devoted to studying human memory. And we're making headlines in all these places too. This is WVU, where we do the highest level research, seeking cures, building hope, hunting pulsars, discovering new technologies, proving Einstein's theory. Wait, this list just keeps going. You don't expect me to read all these, do you? This is WVU, where being unique and proud of it is in the blood, where he can find rhythm and engineer his future, where she can compete on the field and on the stage, and where our president can inspire us to be ourselves, which is a pretty good thing to be, where a little grit and determination can literally take you anywhere. I'm gonna go flying. This is WVU, a family of distinct campuses, just a short drive from here, here, and here. Where a degree opens doors for anyone from anywhere, where you can dig into your passions, create your own niche, and find your purpose. This is WVU. Our students are realizing their own visions, leading their own adventures, and writing their own stories. Shh, whoa, sorry. I forgot we were in a library. And when you become a Mountaineer, you'll never have to go it alone. Because here, our faculty will challenge you and support you. Your fellow students will push you and encourage you. And our alumni will guide you no matter where your journey unfolds. We're a community that works smart and plays smart. We question assumptions and laugh at obstacles. A place where everyone fits, because we're all in this together. This is West Virginia University. This is home.
So that's just a little bit about our university. I think it's nice to see some live movement about what our community really is about. It is about research and also our statewide system. We are the land grant institution in the state of West Virginia. And so we focus on a couple of major things at WVU. We have comprehensive majors, career services. We do have academic support, dual enrollment for high schoolers. So if you would like to take some dual enrollment courses at WVU, we do offer that. We have competitive tuition and scholarships, which I'll talk about in a minute, 500 clubs and student organizations. And as you can see on here, we do have 14 colleges and schools that we we take a lot of pride in. We have over 300 majors and areas of emphasis to study in. So we do have a nice breadth of majors to choose from, 12 residence halls. We have hundreds of employers visit us in our visitor center a year and reach out to us for student interviews and mock interviews and to offer regular interviews to our students. We also have around a 3.5 average GPA, an 1185 on the SAT, and a 23. It's actually gone up to about a 24 now. Something else that I want to point out is our rolling admissions process. We have an online application. It is launched in July. That is the WVU application. And then also in August for the Common App. We will have an application launch week, the first week of August. So if you join our mailing list or our email list, you will find out about that. We do have, our application requires your transcript or self-reported courses and grades, test scores if you're not applying test optional, and your fee. Most majors do have a test optional policy, and our STEM majors do have exceptions for the test optional policy. And definitely check back with us for updates in June. We will have some voting happening in May from our Board of Governors regarding this. We have 2 specific scholarships to pay attention to. These are automatic, and for example, a 4.2 for an out-of-state student would you would earn $12,000 per year. This is for our non-score senders. These do not require extra applications, and this would be for our score senders. You will see these on our website. And again, these will be updated in June, but this is based on GPA and SAT or ACT scores. We also have visit us, campus visits. We'd love to have you visit our campus at either a Discover WVU open house or on campus in the summertime. It's a great time to visit. And that's pretty much all that I need to relay. I did have my timer set. And again, I'm Jackie Gress. I'm a director in admissions, and I also handle Maryland. So please reach out to me. I'd love to chat with you. And if you do get on this barcode here with your camera, then you could fill out some more information, request it. Thank you so much.
Thank you. All right, University of Virginia is next.
All right, hi there. Let me share my screen real quick and we'll get started. All right, great. So hi there, my name is Kristen Greer. I'm a senior assistant dean, and I'm here to talk to you tonight about the University of Virginia. We're located in Charlottesville, which is about 2 hours south of DC and about an hour and a half west of Richmond. Also, we're located sort of nestled in the foothills of the Blue Ridge Mountains in the Shenandoah Valley, and Charlottesville is consistently named one of the happiest places to live in the country. So come visit us and find out for yourself. Now, in terms of facts at a glance, we do have about 18,000 undergraduate students. I would describe that as medium large, but we do really have a commitment to the undergraduate experience. Over half of our classes have fewer than 20 students in them, and 86%, or what I would say the vast majority, have fewer than 50% or 50 students in them. And so you really still get that personalized experience, even though we have a little bit larger student body. Also, you'll see about 2/3 of our students are Virginians and 1/3 are non-Virginians, including international students. And that's something that I'll talk about in a moment with sort of our admission commitment. But one thing I do want to mention is something we're particularly proud of, which are our retention and graduation rates. 97% of our students choose to return to UVA from their first year to their second year, and 94% of all of our students go on to graduate, which is currently the highest graduation rate for public institutions in the country. So in other words, our students are happy here. And a big piece of that, I believe, is one of our hallmarks, which is student self-governance. You certainly see that reflected in our 800+ student-led clubs and organizations, also in the commitment to service. Madison House is sort of the umbrella organization for service, and collectively our students put in 100,000 hours of service each year, both in the local community and beyond. And also our students are involved at the UVA hospital, which is currently the #1 health system in Virginia. And 2/3 of our students engage in research every year, and that's something that you can start as soon as your first semester. And over 70% of our students conduct an internship at some point during their undergraduate experience, and that's something that you can do through our Career Center. Lastly, we do have plenty of study abroad opportunities. Students, about 1/3 do it every year. And we have over 400 programs. And most importantly, you can take your financial aid with you. And so if you'd like to learn more about anything that I mentioned in different ways to get involved on grounds, that's what we call campus, please check out the links on this page to learn a little more. Now, in terms of our admission statistics, this is our most up-to-date information. I actually just updated it today because we recently released regular decision. We had almost 51,000 applications this last year. The year prior to that was about 48. The year prior to that was about 42. So there has been a little bit of growth, but our incoming class size has remained the same. It tends to be about 3,600 to 3,800 students every year. So we are still really committed to sort of keeping steady at that 18,000 undergraduate students I mentioned earlier. Now, what you might see here is the sort of a disparity between the in-state and the out-of-state offer rates. And that's because as a public institution in Virginia, public institutions have a commitment to bringing in 2/3 Virginians every year. So there is going to be a disparity in our offer rate. The Virginia offer rate tends to be about 28-29%, and the out-of-state offer rate has been pretty steady at 15 to 17% for the past couple of years. This is across all 3 rounds. There is a little bit variation. And if you want to learn more, currently we have the 2021 statistics posted on our website. 2022 will be up soon. Now, when you apply to UVA, you choose one of our 5 undergraduate schools. Many of you, most of you, will probably be choosing the College of Arts and Sciences, which houses about 3/4 of our students and 3/4 of our majors. If you'd like to learn more about the different programs and the majors that we offer, I recommend heading to the departmental pages. A lot of them are also doing some virtual events right now, and that's a great way to learn more. Now, in terms of applying, we do exclusively use the Common App, and we require at least 1 counselor recommendation and at least 1 teacher recommendation. And we are still test optional for 2023, so juniors in the audience. And there's a very good chance if you're a sophomore, we will likely still be test optional for you as well. When you apply, you choose one of 3 options. Early decision is binding. That means if you're admitted, you commit to attending. Early action also has a deadline of November 1st, but it's non-binding. Last year, I want to say, or actually this most recent year, about 30,000 students applied through early action. So it's hands down our most popular and our biggest round. But we do also have regular decision as well. That has a deadline of the first Monday in January. And our advice to you is always submit your application when you feel that it's at its strongest. And that looks different for everyone. Now, the last piece I want to mention is financial aid. UVA does meet 100% of need-based aid for all domestic applicants, both in-state and out of state. So we do require the FAFSA and the CSS profile to determine your full need. So if you want to see what you may be eligible to receive, head to our cost estimator on our financial aid site. Lastly, these are all the different ways that you can get in touch with us. Most importantly, down at the bottom, come visit us. We're open for tours. We'll be open this summer for tours. And we also offer weekly virtual information sessions. So hopefully we get a chance to welcome you around soon. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you for that. All right, at this point, I'd like to welcome everyone back onto the screen so that we can hear from you each one more time before our time is up this evening. So I'm going to pose a question here. What advice would you give someone kind of going through that college search process now or in the near future? We'll jump back up to the University of Tennessee to start.
First, well, actually, I have advice for students and for parents. Students, have fun with this process. Please don't get over anxious, because I see that a lot coming into the senior year. September, October, I start my travel, and there's so much anxiety, you can kind of cut it with a knife. Relax and have fun with this process. It's not that bad. Parents, my advice to you would be, let your kids kind of run this process. Let them kind of drive the bus, so to speak, as far as that goes, because they're the ones that are going to be getting into college. But now, as a parent, you have my permission to use these things, elbows every now and then. You got to nudge them, definitely do that. But let them run the process as far as looking for their college or the university of their choice. And students, I said, you will have fun. It's a very relaxing process. Don't worry about that.
Thank you. University of Vermont, what is your advice?
A piece of advice is a little one. It's just kind of a tip or tool I encourage everybody to employ when they're on campuses they're looking at. That's the backpack test. I'm a big proponent of put on a backpack, separate from the parents or guardians, and just walk around and pretend you're a student for 20 minutes, 30 minutes. And on your own, just walk around and see what it looks like, see how people react to you, see how you can engage with them, and just see what it might be like as a student. And I think it's hard to feel that if you're just with the parents or just on the tour. Take some time to just separate and just be on your own. See if you can see yourself there, because living there happily for 4 years is, I think, that comes first, and then you can succeed there. So the backpack test, I encourage you to all try that one out.
Love that. Thank you. University of Maryland.
So I think you've heard from 6 different schools that, while all being public flagship schools in their own states, are all pretty different. And so the piece of advice I have relates to that, and that is to sort of keep organized with sort of this whole process. You've heard early decision, early action, regular decision. UVA's second application deadline is the first Monday in January, I think I heard. But what I'm kind of the point I'm trying to make here is that we're all 6 schools. There are 4,000 colleges and universities across the country. We all do things slightly differently. It's one of the great things about our process, and it's one of the worst things about our process at the same time. So keeping organized, checking about deadlines, what schools require separate applications for scholarships, who's test optional, who's not, where do you want to be test optional, where do you want to send your scores? All these different kind of things are sort of different things to keep track of as you go through an application process. And keep in mind, the average student sends in 6 to 7 applications. And so it's just going to be one of those things to kind of balance as you go through the process.
Awesome. Thank you. Ohio State University.
Thanks, Chelsea. Folks, you're going to have a lot of work ahead of you over the next few months. It's going to go very fast. Just remember that at this time next year, there's going to be an institution for you. So do all of your due diligence, do your homework right now, make your checklist and understand which one is going to be the best institution for you across academic, social, and financial fit. Make sure all of those you're checking into, and know that even if you're not admitted to your top choice school, there's going to be a great option for you at the end of your search process.
Awesome. Thank you for that. West Virginia University.
My advice to you would be, we're all research institutions, and we did talk a lot about research today. All of us did. We all have wonderful research accolades. And so my suggestion to you is, if you are interested in doing research, that was my personal favorite part of college, that you ask when you are able to get on research, and that you go into that realm knowing exactly when you can start participating in research. And if the goal is freshman year, then ask that question. What are the chances of me being able to do research freshman year? Research is not scary, and I'm sure most of our universities have something set up where we can apply mentorship, and also the classes that you need to get directly into research starting freshman year. And I know that it sounds scary, but if that's a goal of yours, then definitely ask that question, because it's a really, really important question.
Awesome. Thank you. The University of Virginia.
So my advice is similar to the backpack test, and that is to talk to current students. That's the single best thing that you can do. A lot of places are offering virtual opportunities, but whenever you get the chance, talk to current students, see what their experience is like, and that's a really good way to help see if you can envision yourself there for the next 4 years.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you all so much for those comments. All right, so we are going to wrap things up for the evening. Thank you so much for putting all this information together and spending the time with us, and thank you to our participants as well. When you close this window, there will be a link to a very quick survey. We appreciate any feedback you can provide. This is the end of the scheduled sessions for Ames. So if you want to watch one again, or if there was one that you weren't able to find at that time or attend, you can go to strivescan.com/Ames and watch whatever you'd like on demand. So thank you so much again for your time, and have a great rest of your week. Bye.